Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be ranking the top 12 football players of all time. And yes, this is the definitive, historically accurate and 100% correct ranking. We are judging these players based on peak dominance, longevity, clutch performance, level of competition and team success. We're talking careers, not just highlight reels. If your idol couldn't sustain his career past his mid-20s because he discovered nightlife, then tough luck. Let's start the chaos. At number 12, George Best, the original poster boy. His peak was breathtaking. In 1967-69, he was arguably the world's most technically gifted player. He drove Manchester United to their first European Cup in 1968. But here's the brutal truth. His elite level was short-lived, declining rapidly after age 26. His legacy is defined by a brief but dazzling peak. You can't be a GOAT contender if you retire from the top leagues before you hit your mid-20s because you prioritize having a good time. We need decades of dominance, not just a couple of great years before finding the nearest bar. Number 11 is the ultimate cheat code, Gerd Müller. The man scored 68 goals in 62 games for West Germany. All 10 of his World Cup goals came in just 6 matches. Ridiculous efficiency. He scored in the 1974 World Cup final and was crucial in 3 European Cup wins for Bayern. He's clutch, but he's a specialist. His game relied on positioning over pace, and his role was arguably too narrow compared to the attacking dynamos above him. He sits here because while he scored, he didn't create the game in the way Cruyff or Zidane did. Coming in at number 10, Ronaldinho. His peak from 2004 to 2006 was pure magic, unplayable, and revolutionized Barcelona. He had a unique combination of technical brilliance and skill that defenses couldn't predict. But what good is magic if it only lasts 4 years? His focus dropped off a cliff after 2008 due to lifestyle issues. His goal output halved from the 2006-07 season to 2007-08. If he focused on fitness, he'd be top 5, but he didn't. He's a cautionary tale that talent doesn't care about consistency, but I do. At number 9, the original Ronaldo. At age 20, he scored 47 goals in 49 matches for Barcelona. His 2002 World Cup performance was arguably the greatest ever by a striker. He dominated Serie A defenses that included top-tier defenders. If he had Messi's knees, perhaps injuries would not have murdered his prime. He returned to an elite level in 2002, but never fully reclaimed that unstoppable peak form. His peak was otherworldly, but the lack of sustained, decade-long dominance means he sits behind the true long-haul GOATs. Number 8 is Franz Beckenbauer, the Kaiser. He redefines the defensive role, moving from behind the line to become a deep line playmaker. He excelled at reading the game, sweeping up and confidently carrying the ball forward. He had great longevity, excelling into his late 30s. He captained West Germany to the 1974 World Cup. He's an innovator, but a defender. His position, while multifunctional, simply doesn't allow for the statistical dominance needed to crack the top 7. I respect the innovation, but at the end of the day, it's goals that pay the bills. The epitome of big game brilliance, Zinedine Zidane is number 7. When the lights were brightest, he delivered. 2 goals in the 1998 World Cup final and that legendary winning volley in the 2002 Champions League final. His clutch performance is legendary, contributed to the narrative of heightened impact on the biggest stages. However, his overall club trophy haul is modest compared to his peers. He also missed key domestic cups like the Copa del Rey. He was a fulcrum for France, but the club consistency just isn't at the level of the GOATs. At number 6, we have the architect of the first global dynasty, Alfredo Di Stefano. He was a complete forward who led, created and scored. He contributed to 23 goals in Real Madrid's 5 straight European Cup wins, scored in every single one of those 5 finals. It's the context of those finals that ranks Di Stefano lower than he could have been. The European Cup in the 1950s was less globalized, with limited participating teams compared to the competition today. He dominated an earlier football landscape which, while impressive, limits the competitive strength metric. We enter the top 5 with the player who changed the game's DNA, Johan Cruyff. He led Ajax to 3 straight European Cups and was the clear best in the world from 1971 to 1974. He was a symbol of total football, a tactical genius. But the 1974 World Cup haunts him. Despite earning a penalty in the first minute, the Dutch were criticised for their arrogant or overly cautious play after taking the lead, ultimately losing the final 2-1. If you're a revolutionary, you just have to win the revolution, and unfortunately he didn't. Number 4 is Pelé, and you're probably surprised why is this low. The king with 3 World Cups. His international legacy is untouchable. He scored 12 goals in only 14 World Cup games. This tally is remarkable because he suffered brutal fouling and injuries in both the 1962 and 1966 tournaments that severely limited his appearances. The downside is that Pelé played most of his career in the Brazilian league. Now yes, the Brazilian league was regarded as one of the strongest football competitions in the world at the time, and Santos beat top European clubs like AC Milan and Benfica in the Intercontinental Cup. But decades of dominance in European leagues is simply a higher bar for global competition. 3 World Cups is absurd, but global cup conquest is necessary to reach the podium. At number 3, we rank the single greatest individual achievement in football history, Diego Maradona. In the 1986 World Cup, he was universally targeted, facing persistent foul tactics and multiple defenders shadowing his every move. Yet he still managed to orchestrate play and score decisive goals. The Napoli miracle is key. Before his arrival in 1984, Napoli was a mid to lower tier side and no team from southern Italy had ever won the Serie A title. Maradona carried them to 2 Scudettis within the most defensively sophisticated league in the world, featuring icons like Baresi, Maldini and Gentile. He performed miracles. The counter argument is similar to Best and R9 in that his ultimate peak was intense but short-lived, declining rapidly after 1990 due to personal issues. That brevity, even the miracle runs, keeps him just outside the top 2. At number 2, Lionel Messi. 8 Ballon d'Ors, World Cup winner, 800 plus goals. His peak dominance was arguably the greatest individual season ever, and of course I'm quoting 2012 with 91 goals. Dominated the most competitive, data analytical and defensively sophisticated era in history. He proved the doubters wrong by leading Argentina to the Copa America and the 2022 World Cup. The only reason he's not number 1 is context. He was a system product of Barcelona, consistently surrounded by the best players. Xavi and Iniesta, arguably the greatest midfield duo of all time. Messi also had his share of 32 missed penalties in his career, including crucial ones in the 2012 Champions League semi-final and the 2016 Copa America final. If you're the GOAT, you must be capable in any given situation, and being predictable without a right foot is a massive thing. When we talk about the GOAT, we talk about durability, adaptability, and conquering every challenge. Ronaldo's longevity is unparalleled, maintained elite output from 2006 to 2022. He's the only player in football history to have scored more goals after age 30 than before, over 460. Even at age 38, he posted over 0.94 goals per game for Al Nassr. He won the Serie A Golden Boot at age 36. He conquered England, Spain and Italy, maintained elite output across different tactical systems and competitive levels. He is the most decisive big game scorer ever, scoring in 4 Champions League finals. But his greatest achievement is the obstacles he faced. He consistently ran into the historically dominant Barcelona Messi dynasty from 2008 to 2012 in his own league. That level of generational opponent, year after year, is simply not something other all-time greats had to deal with. While some of his club choices might have hindered his overall trophy count later on, like leaving Real Madrid for Juventus and not advancing past the Champions League quarter-finals, his ability to win 5 Champions League while battling that level of dynasty is the ultimate tiebreaker. Messi might have the slightly better individual numbers, but Ronaldo has a superior overall career conquering of competition. So there it is, Ronaldo at number 1, Messi at 2 and Maradona at 3. The debate is closed. Ronaldo's longevity, his club performance across multiple elite leagues, and the fact that he won what he won against the teams he faced makes him the GOAT. Remember to like, subscribe and hit that bell. You know the drill.